Thanks for joining us once again for an update from the City of New Hope. Mayor Kathi Hemken with us once again to tell us what's new and what's coming up in New Hope. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Nice to see you the first part of the month.
Yes, you as well. And again, we love the background. The mayor's thinking warm summer thoughts here. So enjoy that background as well while you hear the information. Let's begin with retirement news. We've talked about this, but the date is fast approaching here this week as we record.
So on June 1st, Kirk McDonald, our city manager, is going to be retiring. So there'll be a little gathering at City Hall for him on the 1st. And then he's just going to go off and go fishing. So the other thing that happens with that, we have to have a city manager. So we have an interim city manager, Tim Hoyt, and he will start on the 2nd of June. And there'll be a 6-month period where he's doing the job. He'll decide if he wants the job and or the council wants him. So it's going to be kind of a joint decision. We'll evaluate how he's doing the middle of August and see if he's still thinking that's a good idea. If it is, he'll continue on till December, and then we'll make the decision whether or not to keep him on the job or to go outside and find a new city manager.
And part of this process as well is quite a few appointments, not only for Tim Hoyt, but for others in the city. Tell us about the recent appointment decisions made at the council.
Well, you know, whenever that happens, of course, everybody else underneath them moves up. Well, in the police department, the council doesn't have anything to say about that. That's the police chief, which would be the city manager at this point. So we always like to hire from within if we can, if we've got qualified candidates, and we did. So we're trying to hire from within.
So he is appointed to some different committees and others within the city also taking on some roles. I know one, Beth Kramer with us, helping us here at CCX Media and the Northwest Suburbs Cable Commission. Community development news. Let's talk about a few things happening within the city, and people have been talking about the Country Kitchen, and you have more information about that location.
I do. Kevin Tiffany, who was the owner, said he was the owner for 4 decades and 7 presidents. So he's been at that location for 45 years. Of course, he's made a lot of friends and a lot of people that come in regularly. And he's really sad that they're not going to be able to come into his Country Kitchen. So as best we know, a company named El Laurel, who have a restaurant in Crystal, bought it. We don't know if it's going to be a Mexican restaurant or it's going to be some other kind of restaurant. We're pretty sure it's going to be a restaurant of some sort. More to come later. That's about all we know at the moment. And we wish Kevin a happy retirement.
Certainly do. Let's move on to the Rave Awards, something we talk about on an annual basis. Again, explain what the Rave Awards are and how people can get involved.
People ask me often if RAVE is an acronym, and it is not. Okay. It simply means you're raving about the property. So they have until the 22nd of July to apply for this. And they can either nominate themselves, they can nominate a neighbor. And the whole idea is a property that someone's put some time and or money into upgrading their property in any way at all that looks better than it did before they started. So some of the awards are for the internal parts. Some of the awards are for external gardening, landscaping, just general maintenance of the property. So if you have somebody you're interested in, go to our website and nominate them.
All right, the website you see at the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov. And if you're savvy, you can go into Live, then Recognition, then Resident Recognition page, and you can find all the information there just on the main page. Search for the Rave Awards and you will find it. Curbside Appeal Reimbursement Program. We've talked about this a little bit in the past. Want to give residents a reminder. Kind of falls in that same line of keeping the city beautiful. What is this all about?
Yes. Well, we decided to do a 25% rebate or pay for people that want to do some outside work that faces the street. So this wouldn't be just gardening. This is like new windows, shutters, not paint, just something that looks better from the street. So the minimum is $1,000 rebate. It's 25% of what you spend. The maximum would be $5,000 from the city. So again, you can go onto the website and learn more about the program. If you're not really computer savvy or you don't have a computer, you can simply call City Hall and tell them you want some information about the Rave Award or about the reimbursement program. And they'll give you the information.
They can help us out here. Again, newhopemn.gov. Residential Assistance Programs page is where you can find out more, or certainly give them a call. Another business to talk about is the gas station at 49th and 169. New owners there and looking to do some potential work. Tell us about that.
Well, they have a sign on 169, and apparently, if you're going north on 169, because of the trees that have grown in the wetland just before that, they kind of obliviate the sign, and they would like a variance to raise that sign up above. So they're going to meet with the planning commission, and they'll tell them what they can and can't do, and that may come to the city council to vote on. You know, we really want to keep our businesses in town, but we have to be careful that we don't give ordinance changes or variances to people that really don't need them or just want them for no good reason at all. So this, you'll hear more later as this proceeds on.
Very good. Let's go to scattered site housing, update you on a few properties around the city. The first is at 4201 Boone. That is the old treehouse site. A lot of thought going into that site now. What's happening?
Well, we're going to close on that this week, I think the 3rd of June. On the 4th, the fire department is going in on a non-destructive training program into the house. You know, they go in at night so that they get some idea of what's it like to go into a house at night. But then the other things that happen is we have to have somebody come in and look for materials that need to be removed before they do the demolition. We also need a forester to come in and decide which trees will have to come down for the demolition. We have an engineer looking at sewer and water mains going into it. We have to call a survey company to divide the lots. So there's a big, long process of stuff that has to be done even before we start to demolition the house. And so we will divide the lots, and the lots will be sold to a developer, and that'll be more to come.
Let's move up to Pennsylvania, 5213. Give us the update on that property, which seems to be moving along as well.
It is. Well, the buyers have decided to finish the basement, giving them 3,100 square feet with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. So when that's done, they will be closing on the property and moving in.
Last update is 5306 Rhode Island for scattered site housing. You've got a new developer, I understand you're working with here?
We do. We just signed with, I got to get this right, Fieldstone Family Homes. Now, they haven't done any work in New Hope to this point, but we've done our due diligence. We checked with other people that have used them. They come very well recommended. We like to get a new developer in just because we want a change and see what the new stuff can be. So they will start the demolition, and probably 2 months before we're actually closed, and they'll start the demolition on that.
We'll keep people up to date on that property. Business Networking Group, if you're watching this very early on in the recording, you might be able to get on the June event. Otherwise, July is coming up as well. Tell us about this group, Mayor.
Well, the June 1st event is going to be at the food group. That's on about 54th, just to the east of Boone on 54th. There'll be the meeting, and then you'll get a tour of the food group. If you miss that one, the next one is July 20th, and they move that one out because of the 4th of July. So that one's going to be at 2 o'clock, probably at Pocket Square, but we'll give you an update as we know for sure that it's going to be there. If you've never been to a business networking group, it's a great place to meet other businesses in the city. There's a lot of exchanging of business cards going on at that. People are using each other's services. So really a good way for a small business to get connected.
Yeah, great group. Building permits, inspections, one business to update residents on. We've been following the progress here. Cafe Meow, what is happening inside as they prepare to get open?
Well, first of all, Cafe Meow is going to be a coffee shop on one side, and then going through a door, there's going to be cats, lots of cats. So you can take your coffee into the cat room and drink coffee and view the cats. The cats are there actually to be adopted.
Okay.
And so they have one of these in Minneapolis. Seems to be very successful. Takes a lot of work to get the space ready. So this space is right next to Tires Plus and that shopping center on 36th. So the plumbing is in and being inspected. And now the walls will start going in, and the little holes that the cats go in to sleep or whatever cats do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
No idea when they're going to open, but when we have a date, we'll let you know.
We'll keep people up to date. Let's hop to the police department. A few updates here. A new officer sworn in. Tell us about that great event.
Well, that was last Monday, and that's really exciting when that happens, because usually the family's there. So
Right.
our new officer had his family there and his nieces and nephews and a little boy who was dressed in a police outfit with a little police car that he was playing with. And then a lot of friends of the officers. So that's always exciting to happen.
Very
Our
nice.
community engagement officer has been pretty busy. He
Mhm.
did a fundraiser with Treehouse and Rotary. And then he's also doing something called Runaway Diversion. It's with Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, Crystal and Robbinsdale, and the YMCA. And the whole idea is to help these kids who are thinking about running away so they're not ending up on the street. So it's a diversion program for them. Our police officers are really getting community involvement, and that's a good thing.
Very true. Let's go to projects and miscellaneous updates from Public Works. If you're around Bass Lake Road in Gettysburg, you're seeing lots of activity. Mayor, how is that coming along?
Well, there's Gettysburg and Gettysburg Circle, Hillsborough and Hillsborough Circle. Those are all north of Bass Lake Road. Those streets have been paved, or they're finishing up paving this week. And then they're putting in the water main on Independence, again, north of Bass Lake Road. That takes a little while longer, but that'll get done too. So in the meantime, people are kind of living in a mess. I just want to remind people that we don't assess when they do these street projects, because you pay a little bit more in your taxes every year, and that goes into a pool. And then when we have a street project, that comes out of that pool. So nobody's getting hit with a big assessment fee. It just kind of happens. People seem to like that a lot better than waking up one day and finding out they've got a $10,000, $12,000 assessment fee because they paved the street.
Let's move ahead to Park and Rec, talk about a few things that are coming up here. One that's had to be rescheduled because of weather, a community favorite, a kid's favorite, the Teddy Bear Band. New date coming up?
Well, yep, it's been moved to August 31st. And the reason they did that, the weather just didn't look real good, and they didn't want people sitting out in the rain and or lightning. And of course, the Teddy Bear Band didn't want to. So
True.
they're sponsored by the New Hope Women of Today, and
Nice.
they just moved that till the end of August, and it'll be the same time and same place, just a little bit different date.
Sounds good. We have some pictures to show you of some planters that have been put together by a community group. Tell us about the people behind the planters.
Well, we have a Citizens Advisory Commission, and that commission has agreed to plant the planters on 42nd. The Garden Club in New Hope had planted them for years, but it was getting a little more difficult for them to do that. So the CAC has taken over that planting. The city provides them with the plants, and these guys just go out and they plant the planters. So if you see them doing it, thank them for it.
Definitely. Vehicle fair is coming up, an annual favorite for kids and families in the area. When, where does this happen, and what is a vehicle fair?
Well, it's going to be on the 4th of June, and it's 10 to 12 at the Crystal Community Center. And what happens is all the neighboring cities bring their trucks, or their CCX is usually there. So you see fire trucks and police cars and those big trucks from Public Works. And the kids just get to get in the trucks and play in them and look at them. And it's really just a fun-free event. And it's just 2 hours on a Saturday.
Yeah, lots of excitement there. Let's talk about a couple facilities in town. First, the golf course. How are things going there? And I understand some extra excitement with a hole-in-one. It wasn't you, was it, Mayor?
No, it was not me. I got a hole in 3 though.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
Well, every time it gets a strong wind, there's just tons of branches. So they're picking up branches and they're trying to get the golf course as cleaned up as they can. And then those darn geese seem to poop all over the place, so they're cleaning that up. So the golf course is looking just beautiful. It's just constant though, keeping it up. So the clubhouse is actually, behind the clubhouse is still for rent. And anyone that wants to rent that for a party, you better get your name in real quick, because I think it's getting pretty full. And then the hole-in-one, I can't really tell you the guy's name, but just a young man, was really cute. He got the hole-in-one, and the first thing he did is call his mother.
Well, there you
Because
go.
his mother had gotten a hole-in-one shortly before that. And he just wanted to tell mom that he got a hole-in-one too.
All right, trying to keep up there. Good for him.
Yep.
Funny. Let's go to the swimming pool, the aquatic park. A lot happening there. We've been telling you about water going in. It sounds like the water is in now, but how much water goes in that pool?
It took 45 hours to put that water in that 50-meter pool. And it turned out to be, I got to get the number right here, turned out to be 532,117 gallons went in
Wow.
that pool. So once the water gets in the pool, then they start putting the chemicals in. And of course, it has to be tested. Once they think it's okay, then they call in the inspectors just to make sure it is okay. So the pool should be opening the 4th, well, it will open on the 4th and 5th, this Saturday and Sunday. And you can still get a season pass up to the 3rd of June at 4:30 at a discounted price. After that, the price goes up a little bit. As of Thursday, if they sold 779 season passes.
That's
So
fantastic.
I think it's going to be another good year for the pool. They're in the process now of training the staff that is going to work there and the lifeguards. So we should be ready to open on the 4th.
Fantastic. A lot of people excited. Final note we want to pass along. You may see this in the mail or maybe in the lobby of your apartment complex. What is the In Touch? Why is this so important for New Hope residents?
Well, that gives you all the information of what's happening in New Hope. And that and the In Motion, that booklet that you got before, and of course you kept, or you can go to City Hall and get another one. But what In Touch does, we had something that was going in, it was called In the Pipeline. It was going into the water bills, but we realized that not all people get water bills. So if you were in an apartment building, you weren't getting that information.
Sure.
So we eliminated that, and then we put the In Touch so that it went to every address. So if you're living in an apartment, it'll be in your mailbox. Please don't throw it away. Read it. It's really some good information in there. So everybody in the city of New Hope will now be in touch.
Fantastic. All right. And you can stay in touch by going to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, all the information you need to know. And some of the programs we mentioned today, that's the way to get more information. Mayor, thanks once again for your time. Good to see you this week, and we'll touch base again next week.
I'll see you then, Dave.
And now let's leave you with some events coming up in the city of New Hope. Put these on your calendar. Thanks for joining us. Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.